Redlands was founded in 1881 by the Smiley brothers, Alfred and Albert, who were born on March 17, 1828. They named it Redlands because of the red, fertile soil which grew there. It's located in Southern California, which is an area with very mild temperatures. This allowed exotic plants to grow, like the ones pictured here in Kimberly Crest, which helped it to become an attraction for rich people from the Midwest and the East, who came for the warm weather during the winter months. This brought in many different forms of architecture, especially French and Victorian-style homes, which can be seen amongst the newer houses of today. In 1913, however, the building of these historical homes was greatly slowed as World War I approached. This may have seemed like a negative event, but it helped to preserve the old architecture. A great example of an older home is Kimberly Crest. It is an estate built by Miss Cornelia Hill in the year 1897, which was then purchased by John Alfred and Helen Cheney Kimberly. The original land, purchased by Miss Cornelia Hill, was then added onto by John and Helen Kimberly. They also added on to the beautiful gardens in other places on the estate. Another example of an old home is the Mackenzie House. Today it serves as office space, but originally it served as a residence of one Mr. James Mackenzie, who bought the land from A.S. Taylor and built the home in 1892. Then you have the Miggs House. It was built by the architect D.W. Willard for Miss C.H. Miggs. Miss Miggs, wanting to create a New England effect, planted a beautiful garden surrounding the home. Later, new owners, Mr. and Miss Samuel S. Sewell, added molding to the dining room, an anchor and wheel motif, to represent their shipbuilding heritage. Next you have the Morey Mansion. It was built in 1890 by David and Sarah Morey, as featured in the film Talk About a Stranger as the House of Matlock. It was the first bed and breakfast in Redlands, opened in 1985 by Carl and Gary. It's now under private ownership of Sarah and Bill Taylor ever since 2010. Next you have the A.K. Smiley Public Library. It was built in 1898 by T.R. Griffith. Right next to the library, on the way to the Lincoln Memorial, you have the McKinley bust. It was built after the president passed through on May 8, 1901. Sadly, 4 months later, he was killed. Next, in view of the library, you have the Lincoln Memorial Shrine. In the center, the octagon shape was designed by Elmer Gray in 1932. The two patio wings, though included in the original plans, were not added until 1937. It was expanded again on February 12, 1998. It includes the largest collection of Lincoln memorabilia west of the Mississippi River. Next you have the two pavilions, which have engravings of the words of the famous president. Other engravings can also be found on the monument, including the original octagon. We have had a huge effect on the land of Redlands, from the chopping of wood for these beautiful homes, to the new developments being built today. The most prominent ones, however, are the houses and gardens. They're so important, in fact, that if you were to go on a personality tour of historic Redlands, some of the places you would go to are Kimberly Crest and the Miggs House. In conclusion, Redlands is a very historic area, and there are many aspects of it which I didn't get to touch on. Many places which were touched upon in this documentary can be visited by the public. Redlands is a beautiful city, which I hope everyone gets to visit sometime in their life.